By show of hands, how many people here love Christmas? How many people love Christmas? You love Christmas? Okay. By show of hands, how many people hate Christmas? I hate Christmas. I hate Christmas because I was going to say when I was growing up, but I never really did much growing up. When I was much younger, I was born and raised in Guatemala. I was born and raised in a third world country to a really poor family. We never had any money. Therefore, we never had any presents. We didn't even have a chimney for Santa Claus to come down the chimney. We never really celebrated Christmas, that with presents and with money. I was too poor to be celebrating Christmas. Christmas was always a sad time. It's sad time when you're poor and it's Christmas time. But eventually my family moved to the United States and we started living here. And financially we got a little bit better, but I miss everything about my native land. I miss the people. I miss the language. I miss the way that we celebrated Christmas there. And I also miss the fun that I wanted with my friends. Plus, we were broke. So we were undocumented, we were an undocumented family. So I still was here in the United States, but I didn't have money, so we didn't have presents. So I still didn't like Christmas. I hated Christmas. I seen everybody open the presents, and I didn't have a present. Things eventually got a little bit better when I started my own family. I got married really young. I was 18 years old. My wife was only 16 years old. We got married really young. We had 2 kids right away. And when my kids were born and I celebrated Christmas with them, it was really good. I started to believe in Christmas. And then 5 years later, because we got married really young, we got divorced. And my ex-wife took the kids. And it was so sad to celebrate Christmas away from my kids. It was some of the worst time of my life. Eventually I fell in love again, and I got married again, and I started to feel like Christmas was going to be meaningful this time around with my second marriage. Until the time around Christmas when I found out that my wife had been cheating on me with a friend of ours. Yes. So my first marriage ended around Christmas, my second marriage ended around Christmas. I hated Christmas. I didn't have reason to celebrate Christmas. Until I got married a third time around because, what can you do, right? I got married a third time around, and the first year that I spent with my wife, the first thing she told me around Christmas is like, oh, I love Christmas. And I'm like, you know that I hate Christmas, right? And she's like, it's okay, I want you to come with my family to Christmas morning to have breakfast with my family, you're gonna like it. I'm like, you know that I hate Christmas, right? And she's like, just come with our family, with my family, just come to celebrate Christmas. I said, okay, but do I have to go and pretend that I'm really happy? Or can I just be my grumpy self? And she's like, I love you the way you are. Just come to Christmas. I wanted to make my wife happy because she was making me happy. She makes me happy. So I decided that I had to get on the Christmas spirit and I had to go to Christmas only breakfast with her family. But in order to be there and to make her happy, I decided I'm going to get on the Christmas spirit. I'm going to dress up for this holiday. So I went to a store where they sell costumes and I bought some black boots and I bought a red winter coat and a red hat. And the morning of Christmas, I got up really early, and I went in the closet to get dressed, and my wife is knocking on the door because I'm taking forever, and she's knocking on the door, and then I finally open the door, and I tell her I have a surprise for you, and she's like, oh, you dressed up as Santa Claus. I'm like, I came out of the bathroom like this, with my back to her, and then I turned around, because I had green paint all over my face, and my arms were green, and I dressed as the only character that could hate Christmas as much as me, the Grinch. And she took one look at me and she's like, you're not going to my parents' house now. And then she took another look at the time and she's like, we gotta go. We got in the car, and there wasn't that many people in the expressway, on the road. We made it to her parents' house, and I knocked on the door, and the kid came up to open the door, and I surprised her, hey kid, I'm here to take your presents! And I ran to the tree, and I grabbed the tree, and I grabbed the presents, these are mine, kids were running around, they were having a blast. Her family was taking pictures of me and posting them on Instagram. I was scaring the kids, I was having fun. And then the breakfast ended, and we got back in the car, and I sat back in the car, and noticed that I'm driving back to the city, and people are honking, and people are looking, and people are rolling down their windows, and I'm going, "What? Leave me alone!" And my wife would stop screaming at people, "What? Leave me alone!" And then we make it to the city, and there's a guy crossing the street. I stop at a red light, and there's a guy crossing the street minding his own business, and I honk at him, bam, and he jumped. And he looked back really mad at me, and then he sees me at the bridge, and he's like, "Hey, Mr. Bridge!" And I go, "Sir, are you lost?" He's like, "No." "Then get lost!" And he starts laughing, and my wife looked at me like I'm crazy. And then we get home, and she needs to walk the dogs, but I feel like I don't want to take out my costume yet, so I start to walk the dog with her. And as I walk the dogs, I see a beauty parlor. And I go into the place, and there's a lady getting her hair done, and I look at her, "You look so beautiful, you look just like me." And I get out of there, and I tell everybody, "Come here, they make you look so beautiful. Look what they did to me." And there's a restaurant, I go into the restaurant, and I meet the kids at the restaurant, and I'm having a blast, I'm having fun, and then we finish walking the dogs, and we get home, and when we get home, I look at myself in the mirror, and I have a smile on my face, and I say to myself in the mirror, "I hate Christmas!" But this time I say it more with a smile than with sadness. And I still hate Christmas. But I hate Christmas in a loving kind of way.